Hey, let's talk about this very special moment in Raw history. Boy, we've talked about it a million times on a million different platforms, but January 4th, 1999, we air a very special episode, a taped Raw that was done in Worcester on December 29th. We see Mankind beat The Rock to become the world champion for the very first time, but that's not the story. The corporations out there, DX is out there, and when the glass breaks, the damn hard camera starts shaking. It is the loudest pop in WWE history. This is such a special moment in the Rock story too. I know the Rock has taken a chair shot to the head and he's taken the pin from Mick Foley and losing the world title, but this is head to head with the finger poke of doom. So on the heels of Starrcade, WCW's biggest pay-per-view, they've been hyping up this monster return match for Goldberg and the world title. It winds up being Hulk Hogan and Kevin Nash, and that's live. Tony Schiavone's going to sort of say what Eric Bischoff asked him to, sort of mocking Mick Foley winning the world title, and a tape show still beats Nitro. Man, that's got to be a feather in the cap for Austin, for Rock, for Foley, and certainly for McMahon. No,
it was one of those deals where you celebrate for about 24 hours, if you want to call it celebration. We didn't have a parade or a potluck dinner, but it was fun to pat ourselves on the back, so to speak, for a nice win. But you just got to do another show, and now less than a week, so you didn't have a lot of time to rejoice. Back to work, and but it was cool. That was a big win over a very strong attraction booked on TNT.
I gotta ask, because there's been a little bit of controversy. I know Foley and I have discussed it before on his podcast, Foley is Pod, where allegedly the plan for this 1999 WrestleMania main event was supposed to be a three-way of Mankind versus The Rock versus Stone Cold. And that kind of makes sense based on the storytelling we've seen so far. But allegedly, according to the rumor and innuendo, Shawn Michaels would argue, hey man, WrestleMania shouldn't have a three-way main event. WrestleMania is mano a mano. And of course, we know just a handful of years after this, I think it was 5 years after this, the WrestleMania main event did become a three-way with Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 20. But talk to me about the original plan here at WrestleMania 15. Do you remember it being a three-way? Was that ever discussed?
I don't remember it being a three-way.
Okay.
And I might be wrong, obviously. It's been a long time ago to retain that information. I have to write down everything I want to get at the grocery store. Then sometimes I leave home and forget my list. That's just living in JR's world. Which is unique, to say the least. I don't even know where we were, but I don't remember it being a multiple person match in the main event. I think that's a little bit risky. We got that scenario this year with at WrestleMania, so we'll see how it works out creatively and crowd enjoyment and all those things. No guarantees. So, but I don't think so, Conrad. I think it was always going to be a title match between two guys. At least that's how I recall it.
I know we're going to talk about the WrestleMania match, but before we do, something interesting happens. Rock's incredible run continues. He gets an acting gig on That 70s Show. So I guess this would be his first major acting gig. He's playing his father, Rocky, in season 1 of That 70s Show. There's even a cameo from Ernie Ladd. And this is long before he's the biggest movie star in the world. And this is, I mean, I know he's just won the world title and all that, but he's yet to main event a WrestleMania and he's still establishing himself. But goodness gracious,
Ernie.
Here came Hollywood. What'd you think of Rock doing a little Hollywood? Was Vince supportive of this, or do you remember there being a circumstance where you guys, the office, didn't want talents doing outside stuff like this?
Not that I know of. That'd be stupid. And I'm sure it probably occurred. Some of the talents may be watching this and say, well, that happened to me. And I'm not saying it didn't or it couldn't, but it wasn't we didn't have enough guys crossing over for it to become an issue. And I think the Hollywood, for lack of just use a general term, saw what we'd seen in Rock: natural charisma,
Yes.
an amazing look, very well spoken, intelligent. He could interpret copy and the script. And I love that picture of he and Ernie. Ernie was one of my godfathers in wrestling. Ernie Ladd and I played dominoes in my room in Shreveport every other Tuesday night. And those are some of the greatest days of my life. Even though I beat him regularly, he thought I cheated, but I didn't. I said, Ernie, look around the room. We smoked it up, and here it's just me and you. Now, you're 6'9", you wear a size 17 shoe that covers the ground you walk on, and I'm going to cheat you in my room, or you can kill me. Come on. So, but anyway, I love to work and telling stories and talking about psychology and how that, whether, I don't know if it's even politically correct to say nowadays, but Ernie had a philosophy on how to manage African-American athletes, because he was one, and he understood the mindset, the ticking of the head, the whole 9 yards. So, but I learned a lot from Ernie. Ernie was one of my mentors. He and Monsoon. So I had some good ones that taught me a lot. But Rock was just a natural, Connie. I mean, he in that role. I know it was a sitcom, 30-minute show. I don't know how it was, how successful it was in the ratings. But it got airplay, and it made us rounds, and it got Rock exposure.
It not only got him exposure, it showed Hollywood, hey man, this guy can do more than just wrestle. And he eventually became the biggest star in the biz. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.